Hi, everybody. So I have been asked for some planner tip videos. I used to make these style videos all the time when I was, I don't want to say just starting out in the planner community, but when I was kind of getting my footing, I was sharing a lot more like planner tips, like what was working for me and that kind of thing. And I think that's a cool idea. So someone asked me for some planner tips, and one of them was, how do I know which planners I need to Frankenplan together and which ones are going to be separate? So as you can see, I'm someone that uses multiple planners. I have an older video where I talk about how I use multiple planners, but I'm thinking about recreating that one because my systems and I guess like my why for using multiple planners and how I do that has changed. So you may see that video in the near future, but today we're going to talk about which planners are Frankenplanned together and which ones are separate and why. For me, the way that I think and the way that I organize my life is into sections, I suppose, or categories. And I think that a lot of us do this. And so when I am doing, and I think, okay, so just to back up, I also work from home. And so it's especially important for me to be able to compartmentalize things. Otherwise, I turn into basically a workaholic. I am someone that loves working. I love being, I love doing my teaching job, but I also really love doing social media. So I love the hustle. I don't know exactly why. My dad is a lot like this too, but I just love working. That sounds very weird, but I also really enjoy my leisure time and my time with my family, but it's very hard for me to step away. So I have to be able to compartmentalize things, and I have to be able to know what things I'm focused on at which particular time. So what I have to do basically, and I've tried this a lot of different ways, is that I have to do things like, this is my on-the-go planner. So when I am out of the house, this is the only thing that I'm gonna look at. And I have to do things like, this is my home planner, but it doesn't just contain one planner because my home life has multiple sections. And then this is specifically my work planner, and I only am doing work when I am in this planner. And by work, I mean like my teaching job, my 9 to 5, all of that. It lives in here. But when I close this planner and her little companion notebook, when I close these things up and I put them to the side, then we are done with 9 to 5 work. And I mean, being a work from home teacher and having access to basically your classroom, like your virtual classroom all the time, I'm sure a lot of teachers could relate to this. Like if we have access to our classroom all the time and it doesn't necessarily like impact our family life, like if we can, I don't know, watch our kids play and ride bikes while we're fixing our classroom, I think a lot of us would choose to do that, but I don't think that's a very good work-life balance. And so when I close these things, I set them to the side. I actually close all of my like work tabs for the night, and I like turn on my Google voicemail so it's like on do not disturb. Like I really have to shut it down. Otherwise I will be looking at this all the time. And part of that is just because I'm so passionate about teaching and I really love it. But when I'm done with this, I have to shut it down. Now, I'm a little bit worse with social media because social media is both what I would consider, it's not necessarily a job to me, it's also like my social time. I really enjoy planning as a hobby, and I like interacting with all of you. I like creating, I like sharing. I just like all of that, and it's a bonus that I get to make a little bit of extra money on it. But because it is attached to money, I feel like I'm more motivated sometimes to create content, and that is just being as fully transparent as I could potentially be. Number one, the reason why I separate out my work planner from my home planner is because I have to separate these things. I have tried so hard in the past to put my work planner inside of just one big Franken planner, and I find that if I do that, I am always thinking about work. Like I'm writing, and even more so than I already am, but I am always thinking about work if find a way to set it to the side. If I'm in a staff meeting or something, like if we are in an in-person meeting, I don't want to be fumbling around through all of my home plans and, thinking about that while I'm trying to make preparations for my classroom. So I like to have my work stuff separate in its own space right here and then inside of my laptop. I think because I'm a digital school teacher, my work planner, I guess you could say, is both a paper planner and a digital planner. But again, I have to be able to close those things and be done with it. When we're looking at something like my home planner, this is Frankenplanned. So I have multiple planners in here, whereas in this, I have a couple of different sections, but I would not say that I have multiple planners in here because I just have a vertical planner in here with some additional sheets. But in here, I have full on different planners. Like I have my life planner right here that contains everything, just kind of like a broad generalization overview. I also have like my chores section, my meals, my budget. I have projects that we're working on. And then I also have social media because again, it's kind of work, but it's kind of not. And so it does go into like my life planner because it's something that I do outside of my job, if that makes sense. And then I also have my personal wellness in here because that to me goes in my home planner. So all of these things I want to be able to look at simultaneously. I want to be able to flip back and forth. Like if I'm doing dishes and I want to mark that off on my chore chart and then get ready to do my yoga, I want to be able to flip around and do that. Or if I put the kids to bed and then I do my chores or balance my budget and then I come down here and film, I want to be able to, again, move easily through those sections. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that for me, things that go in the same planner are things that are interconnected in my life and in my brain, I suppose. I hope that that makes sense. I feel a little bit like I'm just rambling, but I really hope that this makes sense. So the things that are Frankenplanned together for me are things that flow naturally together, I suppose, that I need to have at all times to make my life run smoothly. Not that I have to have social media to make my life run smoothly, but if I want that part of my life to be balanced with, I don't know, like getting all of my things done in my life that's not on social media, if I want to be able to dedicate time to social media, I need to be able to balance it with things that are not that. And if I want to be able to balance making time and like really carving out that time for my wellness and my fitness, I need to balance that with, kid stuff and family stuff and making sure that, Brian can tag in and be the dad when I need him to, hang out and, to kind of take over what would have been like my role at that time. Or maybe I need to tag in for him because he needs me to fill in what was like his regularly scheduled time. Not that we have time. I don't know. It's a very natural flow because we're both here all the time. So things that I Frankenplan together are mostly life things. And then this planner is interesting because it kind of has a little bit of everything. I don't know if I would call this a Frankenplanner. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if you think that my on-the-go list planner is a Frankenplanner. And if you haven't had a chance to see inside of this planner, I did go ahead and make a video kind of flipping through how I set this up. So you can go ahead and check that out. I'll try to link it down in the, not in the comments, in the description box below, but I'm really bad about linking things. I'm pretty sure I need to link Alicia Michelle's shop for some of you, and I need to relink Fancy Plans Co. and all the things. So I'm sorry if I'm late getting back to you on links. I'm really bad about it. I apologize. It doesn't mean I love you any less. But back to this planner. So it does have a calendar in here, and I do write things down, like all the things. So like here I have like a social media thing and then like a barbecue at mom's and then an actual like teacher work thing. So this is like my whole life smashed together in here because if I am out and about and I need to be thinking about, okay, I have this chunk of time that I can do this with, I also need to know what all of the other different parts of my life say. So I guess you could call this like the bridge between this part of my life and like this part of my life, if that makes sense. And it really kind of holds everything together. And these three planners are like my ride or die. And I also have another planner. I have two other ones over there, my recipe planner and my Go Wild planner. But I mean, I don't really interact with them every day. But those are separate because of that. Like I don't interact with them every day. So that could be another reason to keep a planner separate. If it's something that you think is cool, maybe it's a lettering planner and you want to do lettering and like you have that dedicated time, but maybe you're going to do like 5 days in your planner in a row and you're just going to carve out a huge chunk of time to do that. Or maybe it's a memory planner where you know you don't have time to work on it every day, but it's just there and it's separate. This one is kind of a fun planner. So this is like my word of the day and then affirmations planner. And so it's not necessarily something that I have to have, but I want to have it because it's really helpful for my mental health to write all this stuff down. And so this one I keep separate just because it doesn't really fall into the other categories. And I like this size of planner to be kind of on its own. But this one is like a planner that's not necessarily used for like, I don't know, making plans necessarily, whereas the other ones have a more functional purpose. Like, of course, this one has a purpose, but something like this, or using a planner as a journal, or using a planner as a memory keeper, or any of those things might be a good reason additionally to have your planner separate. So if you're using your planner for something other than your plans, you may want to keep that separate. However, I also have in here in my wellness section, I have things that are not necessarily planning related. Like I have, oh, I still have them in here. Yeah, like my doodling pages. But like if I have extra time and I have this planner out and about, although it hardly ever goes out, if I have it out and about, it's cool to do some doodles. Or like if, and I hate to say this, if I'm like making a podcast or sitting around and like being on the phone with somebody and I need something to do, my doodles are there. But like that goes with my wellness. I hope that this is all making sense. I feel like it's a little bit scattered. But just to recap, my life and all of the things in it have multiple layers, I suppose. And so that is why I Frankenplan this. My work, I need to keep it separate to keep that work-life balance. And then my on-the-go planner has everything because I really need to know what chunks of time I'm able to work with, what I'm doing when I'm on the go, and if I need to be back at any particular time, those kind of things. So I need everything in here in like a shortened version, like an abbreviated version, I suppose. And then this planner is a planner, but I'm not using it for plans necessarily. And so I keep it separate because it's more of like an art creative space. So that's why I Frankenplan some of them and I keep the other ones separate. I hope that this was helpful for some of you. If you are someone that is semi-Frankenplanner, separate planner, let me know. And if you are someone that uses just one planner all the time also, let me know that down in the comments below. I would love, love, love to know your planning systems, your planning styles, what works best for you. And if you have any other questions about planning, I am by no means an expert, and I do not mean for this to sound like I am any kind of an expert, but if anyone wants any tips or my opinions on things, feel free to let me know. I am likely going to make how I use multiple planners or why I use multiple planners. It's going to be similar to this video, but there are some different things that I want to talk about in that video as well. So I hope that you're all having a fantastic day and a great weekend. And I look forward to sharing plan with me's and some shopping vlogs with all of you very soon. So thank you so much for being here. If you are new and you have found me through this video, hi, my name is Caitlin, and I would absolutely love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below. You guys are amazing. So thank you for doing that. You've already done that, and you are one of my, my people, my friends who hang out with me over on this little corner of the internet. I appreciate you more than you know, so thank you for doing all of that. And then I also wanted to just let you know that if you would like to find me in other places across the interwebs, all of the places where you can find me, whether it's Instagram, Patreon, all of those things are linked down in the description box below, and you can check those out. And if you would like to also find any affiliate codes or links that I have for shops, feel free to also check out the description. You can find those there. So I hope you all, again, are having a fantastic day. And by the way, have fun today.